They try to tell us that we can't sit here.
Yeah.
They try to tell us that we can't get rich here.
Full scope of this.
They try to tell us that this ain't our year.
We're good.
They try to tell us that we can't switch gears. So here's the line, my niggas shine up. Try to tell these hoes ain't no need to remind us that our dreams are broke.
Okay. So, this is the new show. This is what we're doing now. It's called Broc Knows Best. I like to think I know a lot, and hopefully to help some people decipher some things and get some great perspectives on a whole multitude of things. You know, we're gonna start in the home because home is where the heart is, where it matters. But we're definitely gonna get out and we're gonna engage and interact. So definitely be looking forward to that portion. So today we're gonna definitely represent Good Guidance, clothing sponsor, New York brand, definitely a positive brother, doing something positive. And we'll get back to when we get to the ears to the streets segment. We'll get to some positive brothers doing some positive things. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do today, we're going to talk about the quote of the day. Okay, the quote of the day. I'm not going to give the whole quote. You know, I'm going to take a little portion of it. And it was actually by Dr. Sebi. I want to say that that's the name. What's up, Joe? Yeah, so he said we need to change our diet. That was the beginning of the portion I seen of the interview they did with him. So, you know, to think of changing the diet, you know, the first thing you would think is food, you know, that type of nourishment. Now, you know, he went on to say things that had to do with the cosmos and even some more. You can maybe I'll later have a link to the interview he did, so you can go in deeper into that discussion. But I'm all here about perspectives, and so with that being said, I'm thinking change our diet. You know, I remember hearing a while back someone saying about changing the diet in respects to not only just the food that you eat, the type of food you put into your body, but also the type of people that you have around you. You know, people, you know, I've been known to have been called blood-sucking vampires. You know, they just suck the energy out of the room or out of you, you know, or Debbie Downer. That would be something to that effect. And so to change your diet, to not have those type of people around, I'm assuming would allow for the person to move a little more free, have a little more positive feel, reaction to things. I'm thinking, you know, when you have people around who are doubters, who doubt the things that you can do, the abilities you have, you know, you may be even doubting yourself. So changing that type of diet, changing the type of things you put in your body. I notice people have dream boards, and so what they're doing is they're putting these positive things on paper, and then they're looking at it and daily or whenever they do their dream boards or however they view them, wherever they have them in the house or maybe at work, they feed off of it in a sense. They feed off those positive vibes, those positive insights, those positive goals, those positive outlooks, positive perspectives. So definitely, I think that's something that we should take into account. So not only, you know, it's just the springtime, it's about to be summer, people are going to be, you know, juicing everything and eating healthier. So, you know, also change the diet of people you have around you. Definitely do that. Okay, so we're gonna get into some Jersey politics. I recently read a report from News 12. What's up, Tori? Yeah, I think I won't do so much of interacting with you guys, but I'll definitely make sure I leave a portion of the show to do that because I want people to feel like their voices can be heard. So if you hear a topic, maybe from the beginning portion of the show to the end, and you just write a note down, question, and we'll save it down for the Diamond Deers to answer questions. Okay. So back to, I read this report that, so the legislators in New Jersey are working, the people who are out here driving and texting, you are some of those people, even though you're a pro, or even though, or maybe you're not even texting, maybe you're eating, or maybe you're doing your makeup, or maybe you're trying to rear your children, in the back of the car, or maybe you're drinking something. Listen, the road is here for everyone to share. It's already a shame that we have imparted on nature, because when I see countless deer and other creatures and inhabitants of this earth mowed down on the roads, I feel sorry for them, but imagine you hit something and you weren't even paying attention because you're trying to do that text. Not only someone's life can be lost, your life can be lost. There's damages. Who's got time for that? So this new thing that they're proposing, okay, and this is for New Jersey. I'm based out in Newark, New Jersey. So tri-state area, tri-city area. I'll definitely have a lot of current news on that front, and we'll get into some international news as well as other national news. But okay, so they're saying first offense. So you were pulling out of the supermarket and you like, let me text him and tell him I'm on my way back. Open the door. I gotta pee. Boom. Police pull you over. Now again, this is something people do. People do that. They're busy. They're multitasking. Again, we're being brought up to multitask. So I could see that. I could picture me doing that. I shouldn't do that. I definitely won't be doing that. But I could see how it could happen. So, $200 to $400. Now, first of all, that's, to some people, a day's pay. That's a day's pay. That's a day you don't eat. That's a day the kids don't eat. That's a new pair of Jordans. That's headphones for your new iPhone. Your Netflix account. That's PSC&G. That's only at the 2. To the 400, that's maybe 2 days work. That's maybe half a week, Pull out those ramens. So $200 to $400 for the first offense. Now, do I feel like that is something outrageous? No. Especially when you talk about impugning damages that can be caused if you hit somebody, you hit something, or God forbid, Now, again, you already have to consider the cars malfunctioning on their own, because they do that. There's been recalls. So you're taking even a more chance now. You're out here on the road, you're texting, and depending on how old this car, it's not a smart idea. Okay, $200, $400 is, to anybody in New Jersey, a bill. That's a bill for something. And something won't get paid, and then something's going to be late, and then that sounds like something else is going to be late. So it's going to snowball. So the third offense, they suspended your license. So they're gonna get their bag. They're gonna secure their bag. That's, let me see, that's 400, 800. And again, who's to say who gets 200, who gets 400? It's a range. They haven't even decided yet on a, so it could be anywhere between there, you know. So you be smart. Be smart on these roads this summer, okay? Please. And don't drive and text. Don't drive and drink. Don't drive and eat. Don't drive and do makeup. Don't drive and do anything. If you need to do something, pull over. That would be the best thing to do. Just pull over. Now we're gonna move to another topic, the Justice Department. So I watch C-SPAN. Now again, I get my information from non-biased organizations, some news organizations. I can't say that all their commentators are not biased. Some of them may have agendas. Again, people, when they fill out those applications and they say they're going to do these things, this is the thing they tell these people are going to do, so they do them so they can get paid. I'm sure, and it's not right, but I'm sure a lot of us out there have worked at jobs and have had to do things, maybe have to give subpar. This is not a strike at any organization I've worked at, but may have to give subpar food or quality ingredients. You know, you may have to just throw that stuff on there and give it to people. And you may have felt a certain type of way about that, but you had to secure your bag. You had to get paid. So if they said, throw those old lemons in that tea bag with the tea, you're not gonna not do that. You know, so I understand. And we'll talk about the headband later. That's definitely something we're going to talk about later. But so hold on to that. There's a reason I'm not wearing this. So, Justice Department, we're talking about. This is C-SPAN, and again, the show is about. It's on regular public television, so anybody can watch it. They've been on for a long time. They look at both parties, especially politically, or even third parties, and they just give. It's just like, imagine you're at the party and you're the fly on the wall, and this person is saying what happened, this person is saying what happened, and you're just showing, you're just looking from you're seeing everything, and so giving people the opportunity to speak from both sides of the spectrum and not looking for a particular outcome, you know, just allowing it to do whatever it's going to do. I love the portions when they have people call in. You definitely should check that out if you want. You can. They usually like early in the mornings during the weekday. You can call in, and sometimes they'll have congressmen maybe in your district or maybe someone you know's district. They'll have people, even some, you know, big top corporate people, tech people, people in literature, all assortments of what America is. So they were, so the way that they had this set up, so the Supreme Justice, you know, with Ginsburg and who's up there? There's Gorbachev? No, not Gorbachev. That was I didn't even know that name. The new guy that just got elected, he just went to a vigorous grilling to get on the Supreme Court. But Ginsburg, Sotomayor, these are some of the women that are on the Supreme Court. So again, shout out to all the women on the Supreme Court and the men as well, but definitely shout out to women making that. So here they are having a discussion. There's these attorneys coming in and they're trying to speak their case. So the topic of discussion was gerrymandering. And it's interesting that they didn't show visuals of these Supreme Courts and the the attorneys having this back and forth. So you're actually just watching it pop up like this is Ginsburg talking to the attorney, or this is Sotomayor talking to the attorney, and the heads will pop up like who's talking, so you can follow. I like that. It was dope because I think I enjoyed not seeing them, just hearing the points of view. Now, again, with the heads popping up, who said what. I don't know if you guys know how people have been elected to Supreme Court, but usually the president who was ever in office at that time, whether Republican or Democrat, gets to choose people to be on the Supreme Court. Now, they nominate people, and then they have to go through a process where they're grilled intensively for certain amounts of hours. Now, as a side note, there is new legislation trying to amend something with that to where as though the grilling process will actually only be 2 hours and not the 36 hours that it currently is. And I'm figuring maybe we can find a middle ground to that, maybe 14 hours, 7 hours this day, 7 hours that day. Some people can't be at the meeting on that day. Maybe they can get there the next day, because I feel like everybody should have an opportunity to grill this person, especially when the Supreme Court job is forever. Forever. Your notes, your memoirs, everything you say is going to be in paper forever. And until you die or you give up your seat, you're in. So, boom. This is the setup. So you get a little gist of what's going on. So they're talking to the people. First, there's the attorney Clement. He's got his stuff together. His words. He's a younger professional. He's on his money. They paid him. He knew all his stuff. Now the topic was gerrymandering. I'm not sure if you guys know what gerrymandering is. It has a lot to do with redistricting. And so what Clement was saying, the way the framers, the people who wrote the Constitution, have it kind of set up, is that a certain party has to have consistently a monopolized portion of not only the districts or the area of the states. So the ratio was 10-3. So imagine 10 people fighting 3 people. Now, it's not to say that those 3 people can't kick up. I'm from the hood. I've seen people kick up. But again, if it's legislated to be imparted on the people unjustly, especially when the way that they choose the map to do this only has to do with partisanship. And partisanship means you're choosing one side or the other. So if let's speak in gang terms, if you Crip and everybody Crip, then you rocking with the Crips. If that's the popular, because that's how they've set it up. Now, it's not to say that the framers maybe hadn't had everything thought out fully. And then again, and that's why a lot of things are amended, because you need to make things work with the times. Now, the way the climate is set up, when a lot of people are secluded already, and again, we hear a lot about people being secluded and being fed these types of ideas. And not to say that it doesn't happen in urban areas where they'll mass push out a certain idea. I'm not gonna act like that doesn't happen as well. But again, the disproportionate amounts of land, as far as when it comes to the people, Because imagine it's a city where it's 10,000 people, but they've got all this land, and all this land doesn't really account. But they'll incorporate the land to say, okay, because 6,000 people are Republican or have classified themselves as Republican, then we get to cut out this much of the space, and per space is how that they decide votes. You have so much space, you have so many votes. Again, your people, your representatives are in office. They get to speak on your causes. They get to fight for the types of things you fight. So, for instance, let's think of this topic. So you have people who maybe are living in the woods and they're used to guns. Okay, this is not going to be the first time or the last. Well, this is the first time. This is the first show. This is not going to be the last time we talk about guns. We're going to have a whole show on guns probably this week because it started the week off. Gun violence, as it does every day here in America, and that's sad but true. So again, they were talking. I'm gonna scale back because I can still get there. So gerrymandering, redistricting. So the guy Clement, he's spitting his case. He knows his stuff. He's going hard. The judges, they've already kind of made up their mind. Now again, when you come to them, they've already read what you're going to say. They've already been briefed. Okay, they know what you're going to talk about. Now, what you don't know is if they're going to lean to your side or the other side. Now, again, remember when I was saying about judges being on the panel? Now, imagine the judges who've been picked up there are split that way. Now, there's only so many amount of judges. So if there's a 60 40 split, then again, it may not be what is right, but it may be what can be justified. Because again, this is what the law prohibits. Again, at one time, slavery was okay because the law allowed it. That doesn't mean that it was right. It was that the law allowed it. Now, I have so many topics like that about, is it right? Is it right because the law allowed it? The concept of that. What makes it right? Here's these judges for life, and they're getting to determine what's right. So, there was a lady from North Carolina. This was about an event in North Carolina. They've already had topics or court cases come up like this, and they've already, in previous meetings and cases, have already made rulings. Now, usually each case is case by case. You can't say that this person's situation is just like this person's. Again, some people do abuse systems, and some people really do need help. And there's a balance, and once you have all the facts. But one thing that seems that I'm understanding that it's about having enough facts. And what facts? And who gets to determine what are the facts? Because based on the map that this guy had, it showed that this redistricting, the way that they were doing it, because it was already written, the states, this is at a state level. So he was saying that they weren't allowing the states legislators to do their job because they're supposed to do that. Now, if it's on the state level, imagine what if the states are ran by Republicans? Then it's going to be shifted a certain type of way. Now, me, myself, I'm an independent. I like to think independently. Do I have some views that are Republican-esque? I'm sure. What Republican? Abe Lincoln Republican? That Republican? Okay, exactly. Or Democrat. You know, I believe in balance. There should be a balance. You can't be too extreme on either side. It can't be F the world. You have to love somebody. There has to be a balance. So, They grilled him. I mean, then they called in another guy, another attorney. He was an older dude, and he had the slick talk for him. He was talking this stuff, but the lady was saying she had facts and she had documents and she had research and her numbers were saying if they had used any other map, they could have used any other map, and it would have came out about even, because where we are in America right now is a little more even killed. We're not so extreme like everybody. We're appreciating and developing more compassion for one another. And you would think that it's been out there. It's been so much out there. All the money that they've been somehow you've seen being spent on things, but the impact to some of these things are different from what they're even purported to be or what they maybe originally wanted to be. Again, the framers set this up a certain type of way, and so it's to not use bipartisanship. I mean, it's not to be partisan. That's what I mean. It's to use bipartisanship. And so he didn't get his case. He wasted the court's time as far as I'm concerned, because if it was already other cases and those people didn't win, now he was threatening that, and I'm going to tell you why he lost. Some people lose as soon as they start opening their mouth. And he was talking real kind of reckless about, the older judge, the other judges that were there, they would have thought differently or they spoke differently about the topic. And that's like being in a new relationship. Do not bring up the past. Don't bring it up. Just you're on a date with the new girl. Why are you bringing up the old girl? Is she supposed to feel a certain type of way? You're talking to her now. You're not talking to the old girl. This, she just heard your story, and So I don't know. If I was him, I would have brought gifts, but I don't know if that would have been like bribing judges. I mean, they can have them. Would have been a nice gesture because he was losing. We were going to go into the border wall, but I see my time is at 27 minutes. So, am I going to do an hour? Let's do an hour. Let's do a first show an hour. I'm not sure if you guys are out there, how y'all feeling about this. So, I'm just going to rock this right now. We're going to talk about the border wall, but I'm thinking so before we get to sports, segment Ears to the Streets. Everybody knows Nipsey passed away today. Got killed out there. It was last night. It's terrible news. Entrepreneur, family man, an artist. Don't fuck with snitches. I know countless people like that. I mean, if you just entrepreneur, family man, artist, don't fuck with snitches. Millions of people you can count right there. And, now, I'm gonna lay some truth down. I dealt with that with an issue. I had an issue. And this is me being real, because I want you guys to be real. We have to be real. Like that news I was talking about, $240, that's real. Okay? My views on that's real. So let me give you some real. Talent. We in the hood, and here in our hoods and your hoods and even in your cubicles, snitching is not allowed. Whistleblowing, feel like is snitching. And I don't want the two terms to be intertwined. You know, the thing about linguistics, language, the use of language. Here's the concept. I'm hungry. I can relate to that. I'm starving. Maybe. I mean, rather than starve. There's the way the use of language can be used. It has a deeper meaning and understanding, and even the letters as they're put together, even the way they're put together, the sounds that they make, all of that stuff has meaning and effect. I remember reading somewhere where you can write a word on a glass, and if you give it a positive word like love, that the crystals will make a beautiful type of crystallization when the ice forms. And if you say like hate, that it looks ugly. We'll do that here. We will do that here on this. We will test that fact. Okay, we will test that fact right now. As far as I'm concerned, it's the fact. Could be true. Could be false. I could be wrong. Again, always right. But 9 out of 10, go with your gut. Might be right. So, entrepreneur, family man, artist, didn't fuck with snitches. Now, he didn't fuck with the snitch. He told him, get from around here. Remember, he changed, clearly that was his diet. His diet was none of that around me. You fooled. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that out there. And it's sad that speaking the truth can get you killed. Speaking the truth can get you killed. Knowing too much can get you killed. Now, when I say whistleblowing, because again, people like to intertwine. When you have not necessarily a low IQ, but when you have a low understanding of things, like words, the definitions, how they're supposed to be used, the context in which they're supposed to be used. You know, grammatical errors, they are still out there. Just because you don't see it on the screen doesn't mean they're not out there. Just because they don't correct you doesn't mean you don't need correcting. When you see something, say something, is that snitching? That guy's got a bomb, he's about to blow his train up. Is that snitching or whistleblowing? I mean, it's the same thing. Same thing. You gave up information, but they're different. Because a whistleblower is somebody who says something when some harm is being done. And we have to really deal with that. When you talk about harm being done, you know, we have to also be consistent. Facts. If it's wrong, if they did it to your sister, it's wrong if you do it to a sister. It can't be, oh, well, for this one, oh, cut his fucking head off, but spare that one. Somebody spared that rat. He didn't whistleblow. Nobody wasn't getting raped and he spoke up. They're saying he ratted. Somebody was getting money he hated. And maybe he just couldn't face the fact when he told him the truth in his face, because he was so disgusted with himself. So you gotta think about that. You might need to be a whistleblower. That don't make you a snitch. They don't. So understand the difference. Snitching is you see somebody getting money and you're mad. Payola. Somebody's record is bumping and yours is not, so you're gonna put out rumors. Now, tell you a little secret. You know, if you're not thinking about it and you're not talking about it, then who's bringing it up? If you're talking about it, you're thinking about it, it's on your mind. You got to deal with that. Don't make it everybody else's problem. Now to sports. Did you like that? Was that cool? Okay. Sports. Yankees. Oh, 1-3. Ha ha, Yankees. Listen, I don't know what to tell you, Yankees fans. Starting off bad. Got a lot of players injured. Yeah, you spent a lot of money. Y'all got money. You got a farm. You got a farm system. I'm sure it'll work out. Mets 2-3 right now. I was watching the game. I don't know if the Nets are winning. I don't want to be rude. It was looking bad. It was looking bad. I don't know if Russell was in or not, but back to my Mets. 2-3. The bats are alive. The bats are alive this season. Bats are alive. Got a new pitcher, Diaz. Be looking for that jersey. Okay. So, our final portion. Okay. Our final portion of this show will be the ratchet. So let me go and be ratchet and drink some. Because I'm thirsty. I can't be so modest. That's not real. Like, I was talking for almost 40 minutes. Oh, Tropicana ain't paid me no money. I'm not about to show their label. But if you want to send me anything to drink, apple juice. So, the ratchet. Congratulations to Cardi B and Rap Snacks. If you don't know, you heard it here first. Cardi B got her own Rap Snacks. Now, not only does she got one bag, Cardi got 4 bags. That's 8 bags. 4 bags. 4 bags. Okay? These are the flavors. These are the flavors. As my battery life powers down. Cheddar barbecue. Honey drip butter popcorn, habanero hot cheese popcorn, and jerk barbecue wavy chips. Now, you know the wavy ones that is really good for the dip. It's really good for the dip. Actually, let me just charge my device. That's a picture of Bob Marley behind me. Another great man who died. Hey, so we're back. How about that? So, where are my notes? Do apologize about that. Drop my notes. Not that I really needed notes because we were talking about Cardi B. So, back to what I was saying. Cardi B got 4 flavors. Cheddar barbecue, honey drip butter popcorn, habanero hot cheese popcorn, which I definitely am going to try that. Jerk barbecue wavy chips. Now, that's good. Did you see that? That's the way my hands are going to look in the bag. So, for you guys, I have. Do 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 do. Our babies need some milk, so that's it. Okay, so it's looking a little bit. Has a nice little texture to it. I definitely have to get a better phone so you guys can like taste the chip. Yeah. Let's try it. Okay. So I'm only gonna eat one because no need to overdo the palate like that, especially when I'm about to have dinner. We have a different sponsor for dinner, but that'll definitely be. We like these, Cardi. Let's give more into this bag. Oh, Cardi B has a quote in the back of the bag. Designed by Mansoleil. Ooh, she's dressed all nice. Being successful in life and in the music business is all about being true to who you are. Knowing your self-worth, never sweating the small things, and always following your gut instincts. If you follow this rule of thumb, it will eventually create a recipe for success. Cardi B. Well, Cardi B, those were your words. If those were your written words. So I was going to have another one. But they are a little tasty. What? Are they tasty or am I actually just hungry for dinner? Questions you have to ask yourself. You know? But they're pretty good. I could see me doing that. I don't see me needing that with the dip. You know, if you like the Waz barbecue ones, they're kind of like that yellowish bag. Those ones, those are pretty good. Those give me that. You know, as far as the cheddar, it's like they stole the deli cheddar from the Fabulous ones. They took a little bit of that deli cheddar. So, okay. So guys, the bandana, right? Was he going to talk about the bandana? What was it about the bandana? Started today with the quote by Dr. Sebi. We need to change our diet. Now, when I spoke to you guys originally, I gave you the perspective of, you know, change the people around you. You know, food and the people around you. There's another portion to that. There's definitely another portion to that. And it has a lot to do with the spiritual portion of that. Bandanas. I'm not sure when initially, maybe around cowboy days, maybe. Bad Boys had the bandanas, maybe. I'm not sure if the Fonz had a bandana. Made it a little popular. But concept of affiliation. Believe it or not, and I'm not reluctant to say this, it's just one of those things. America is a gang. We are a gang. We have so many different subsects of the gang, different little, but we're a gang. We're the biggest, we're the baddest, we're the toughest. Can nobody mess with us? We're bigger than the mob. We drop bombs. We stop them at the border. We're a gang. Gang mentality. What separated the people who strung the people up in the streets, who strung those black people up and burned some of them alive, from the people who sat around and watched it. Couldn't wait to get there to the show. You watching it. You a part of it. You rep it. You win it. America, we are a gang. And until we reconcile with our gang movements, put it on the documents, put it in the paperwork. It's 10-3. 10-3. That's what the paperwork say. We going with that. We starving them. We ain't giving them no money. Honduras, y'all ain't getting nothing. We cutting these people off the tip. We're done with you. And if you snitch, if you lucky, you get out of the country. And talk wrecking and all that shit from other countries. You wasn't ready to ride. Good, bad, and indifferent. As one of my sisters so affectionately would say. Me riding, good, bad, and indifferent. We've done a lot of, as a country, not only, let's be a little more personal. Not only have we done stuff and malicious things and thought of malicious things to other people, but what about what we're doing to ourselves? Not changing our diet, still eating the ratchet, still letting this one and that one around, knowing they mean you no good. Letting the rats walk around the streets. But you worried about what these people doing. You need to be worried about what you should be doing or what you could be doing. If you looked at on my IG page at Broc Diamond, BROCDIAMOND, or even on my Facebook, what are we going to do with the ball that has been dropped? We are so gang. And so gang, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Who we riding on? We riding on ourselves? We going to change our thinking? That self-reflection. Because when it's your time, it's your time. But at the end of the day, what did you do with your time? Now, I'm not one to say that I don't think people who are doing things aren't doing enough. I'm thinking that people could do more. If you can do what you're doing and you're happy, then you can take a little bit of that and give it to somebody else and help them be happy. If only for a moment. Doesn't take much to help others. And not thinking, change your thinking that somehow helping them is going to hinder me. That's your brother. You in the gang. Y'all in here together. Y'all riding for the same cause. So pushing him up. Shit, you just should be waiting for somebody to push you up. Shit, you ain't pushing nobody up. That's why nobody pushing you up. Cause and effect. Put it out there, come back. So, you know, I'm American. I'm in the gang. So that was tonight's portion of Broc Knows Best. Now, we will do this once a week. This will be a weekly show. We're definitely going to have some dope interviews throughout the spring and summer. And maybe we'll take some break off in the fall because it's going to be cold. And I don't know about being out there in the streets bothered with people. Even though I'm a people person. Don't get me wrong, but, you know, cold. Cold. Or maybe we'll change the weather. Who knows where we're going? Okay? I know that I don't like the cold. So for this edition of Broc Knows Best, I guess I'll leave you with this. Love is love. Make it some gang shit. Have a good night.